Samvade Vibhuti Yoga Nama Dashamodhyayaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you. We can continue chanting for some more time, or maybe 1 more minute like that. I don't know if the notification went. Yeah, notification went.
You can post the live.
Yeah, live I will post, Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, assembled devotees की जय. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Mataji Dasi from College Station, Texas, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sanga conference call. May I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, so glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Waiting to hear from you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please forgive me. Danvat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Okay, we'll wait a couple of minutes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sumi from Chennai. Sorry, Mataji, I'm outside, it's too much noise.
No worries, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Sumi Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining from India and giving your recitation every single day. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. This is Chinmay Vrajapriya Devdasi from Shanghai.
Hare Krishna, Chinmay Vrajapriya Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and all glories to your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna Neetu Mataji, Dhanat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your association. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Nice to have you back. Thank you for the beautiful chanting and your warm introduction. This is Preeti Vilasni Dasi from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna Preeti Vilasni Mataji, Dhanat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and all glories to your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, and Krishna Kripa Murti A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is Akshar Das from Canada and eagerly waiting for the session. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Akshar Das Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining every single day and chanting also in the early morning and joining Bhagavatam class and mid-morning class, asking very nice questions. We are learning so many things from you, Prabhuji. Please continue joining us. Hare Krishna. Mataji is ready and it's time. We'll start. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Madhya khanda, chapter 10, 251 to 260 verses. Before I hand over the call to Mataji, I would like to read today's quote of Srila Prabhupada, 29th May. When I go to Los Angeles, I am in Vaikuntha. When I go to New York, I am in Vaikuntha. Wherever we have got a temple, that is Vaikuntha. So why shall I have objections? Do your duty nicely and see what Krishna desires. Let it be fulfilled. But you do your duty. If it is your duty to pray to Krishna as affectionate children, and let Krishna decide. And I have no objection either. Vrindavan, May 29, 1977. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this mid-morning and enlightening us on the topic of Chaitanya Bhagavat. I now hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Thank you so much for your very, very warm welcome. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us, sparing your valuable time with us, and showing some interest in hearing and studying Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. So really grateful to each and every one of you. So we'll start with our invocation prayers and then we'll move forward. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchatattvatakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्य छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रस प्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावधातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ। जयति जयति देवा कृष्ण चैतन्य चन्द्रो जयति जयति कीर्तिस्तस्य नित्य पवित्रा। जयति जयति भृत्यास्तस्य विश्वेश्वमूर्तेर् जयति जयति नित्यां तस्य सर्वप्रियाणाम्। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So thank you once again for all of you for your wonderful association. Please shower your heartfelt prayers, blessings, so that I can speak something relevant to this subject matter in glorification of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata's Mahā-prakāśa Lila pastime, and of course in purification of my own self. Vancha kalpatarubhishta kripa sindhu vacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, all the assembled Vaishnavas ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we are in the 10th chapter of Madhya khanda of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, where this Mahā-prakāśa Lila is going on. And in this Mahā-prakāśa Lila, it's about to end. It has been 21 hours, 7 prahar, it's Sat Prahar Lila that has been going on. And now this Leela is going to end. But the last person who got mercy is still to be described. But the second last is our dear Mukunda. So Mukunda, we are reading that same pastime. Definitely I'll not go into detail. But how Mukunda was first rejected, that he will not get darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 1 million lifetimes. And after that, surely, Nishchayatrup, he will get darshan. And Mukunda, feeling very despondent when he heard that he will get, he started dancing. Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing his devotional mood, he called him up at once and said, "Oh Mukunda, that 1 million lifetimes that you were supposed to take, and only then you will get my darshan, have been reduced to 1 moment. And here I am standing right in front of you." Mukunda, out of humility, he thought that who am I to get your darshan? I have not accepted that devotional attitude, that devotional service. So what power do I have to? I have to see you. I'm not even qualified. And this way, Mukunda was lamenting. He was crying profusely and he was lamenting. Then he narrated, he said that, "Oh, Vishambhar, actually, the great personalities like Narad Muni were fortunate enough to see you because they saw you. And what to talk about Narad Muni? Even Vyasadeva, when he felt despondent, Narad Muni was sent by you only to remove his despondency. So here they are, who saw you, who had your darshan. Who am I? I am really nothing where I can have your darshan." Then Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Oh Mukunda, don't worry. You have crossed over all the offenses that you have committed by associating with Mayavadis. But now I know that your devotional mood has been sprout up, and therefore you have complete authority in seeing me." Then he says, "Actually, it's very difficult." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "It's very difficult to see me, but because you are very dear to me, I'm telling you the truth." And what truth I'm telling you? That it's only through devotional service that I can be accepted. Though I am Swarat, I am independent, but those who perform devotional service, Aham Bhakta Paradhina, I become dependent on, I become subservient to my devotees. Then he said that actually no activity can ever be fruitful if that activity is without devotional service. So even if we see that there are so many devotees, I'll say the word devotees because they are claiming to achieve the highest perfection of life. Even if we see the karma kandis, jnana kandis, ashtanga yogis or jnana yogis, all they want to, they have their own activities to perform. But why do they perform that activities? That depends upon whether they will get some perfection or not. Suppose if there is any karma kanda person and he is performing a lot of sacrifices, but his motive is to achieve some, to enjoy some heavenly planets, to go to Swargaloka. He is a bhakti kami. So he is devoid of devotional service. So his aim of achieving the Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing some sacrifice is fruitless, because you should perform, do some activity, but the point is that one should achieve the devotional service, or one should achieve the Supreme Lord. If that is not achieved, then what's the use of any activity so far? Similarly, the yogis, they have to see Paramatma in their heart. Their aim is to get some liberation. But if they are only satisfied getting some siddhis of this material world, then definitely all their activity is fruitless. But to achieve some liberation, that some amount of devotional service is needed. Even that process, even that path may be very cumbersome path, but still some devotional aspect is needed in order to achieve some perfection. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that actually no activity is fruitful without devotional service. It's very important that one should perform some devotional service. Only then we will be able to achieve the perfection of our life. And then he says, if one does not accept devotional service, Mahaprabhu says that I feel so aggrieved at my heart. And that becomes the result, that becomes an impediment for someone to see me. So how beautifully he's saying that actually one should accept devotional service. If we are not accepting devotional service, then Mahaprabhu says that it hurts me. I feel aggrieved because I want everybody to have my darshan. But because they are not performing that devotional service, that itself becomes an impediment that obstructs them from seeing me. So we stopped here yesterday, but I want to reflect some more on this point upon seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or having darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we'll move forward with our today's verses. Let's make the class little interactive. I want all of you to please show some participation so that I may get some enthusiasm in speaking Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. So, time and again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, do perform devotional service. So, what is actually devotional service? What do you all understand by the word devotional service? In a very simple, I don't want anything fancy stuffs, but in a very simple, because you all are practicing devotees. So definitely you must be knowing that what is actually devotional service.
Serving the Lord with the heart.
Serving Lord with the heart. Yes, very good. What else? So what is devotional service? Come on.
Yeah, doing service.
Constantly thinking and thinking of God and serving Him.
Constantly thinking of Lord and serving Him. Okay.
Engaging our all senses in the service of the Lord.
Engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. Even Kamsa was engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord.
So
Mm.
With the love,
favorable.
Mataji, with the love, not towards enmity to the Lord, but
Yeah.
with the love
With
towards
love.
the Lord.
Yeah.
May
Performing
I
the
contribute, Mata?
Yes, go ahead, please.
The bhakti defined is, anya vilasita sunyam gnan karmanya.
Anya
And
Bilash.
anukulyen Krishna anusilanam bhakti. So anukulyen and then gnan karmana anudam. And then we engage our senses. Rushikana rushikesa sevanam bhakti. So that's what I
Should
understand
have
about
no
bhakti.
other desire, but the only desire is to serve Krishna. Actually, Prahladananda Prabhu has given the exact and the right definition that defines the devotional service given by Srila Rupa Goswami. So yes, you all are right that we should serve Krishna, but the motive, even in Anya Bilashita Shunyam verse, the motive is to please Krishna. Any service we do, if that pleases Krishna, becomes devotional service. Even if I am going to my 9 to 5 job, but I'm doing it for the pleasure of Lord Shri Krishna, that 9 to 5 job, which looks apparently externally as a material thing, becomes a service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So anything that pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we may be performing our varnashrama duty in whatever ashram we are in. But if we are doing it for Krishna's pleasure, keeping Krishna in the center, it becomes devotional service. Yes, Akshardas Prabhu, you want to say?
And pratihata.
Ahituki apratihata, yes, savai pumsa parodharma. Yato bhakti radhokshache. That is our supreme occupation, where we combine our swadharma with sanatan dharma, our eternal dharma, our jaiva dharma, and then whatever we do, we please to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is pleased with our work, with our activity, with our services. Sam siddhir haritoshanam. Only and only any activity which satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes a devotional service. So that is what here Mahaprabhu is saying, that you perform devotional service means any activity that pleases me, that is performed for my pleasure, is actually devotional service. And then he says, you will have my darshan. So what it means to see the Lord, to have darshan of the Supreme Lord, what does it mean? Means seeing face to face? What exactly comes to your mind when Mahaprabhu is saying that when you perform devotional service, then you will be able to see me, have my darshan? What does it mean?
It's not really face to face, Mataji, like how our pure devotees, our Maharajas are able to see the Lord within themselves, realizing, and completely detachment happens. When it happens to us, then definitely there is detachment and equal vision to everyone. The nature of the person is going to change, and the bhava, love, prema for the Lord is high increased at that moment. And it says, right, Mataji, even in this material world, staying in the material world, we are liberated. So that stage, I don't.
Jivan Mukta stage, or
Yes, Mataji.
okay, seeing Lord face to face. Okay, to an extent, yes, having the same godly qualities. But what else? It means having darshan of the Supreme Lord. Like we go to temple, right? And it says that the deities of the Supreme Lord are non-different from the Supreme Lord. So going to the temple, having darshan of the deities is what Mahaprabhu is referring to, having my darshan. Yes, Siddarth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Actually, I think he is referring to like being like cleansed of all the impurities, and like our original self will be revealed. So what is our relationship with Krishna?
Oh, getting our own Siddha Swarup. Yes, very good. So yes, that is what it is, that we have to understand, having darshan of the Supreme Lord. So we have already covered in Madhurya Kadambini, we saw that there are certain stages of bhakti. It starts with Shraddha, it starts with Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti, so and so forth, up till Prema, because after Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prema. So these are the 9 steps. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given certain stages beyond these 9 stages that is being referred by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given some extra steps. Okay, if you want, I can just share my screen quickly. I haven't opened up, but I can, because that will be good if we understand how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes. Okay, this is Hey Krishna. I wish I would have opened it before. Let me share my screen. I hope you are able to see. So this is Canto 1, Chapter 2. Right, from 16 onwards. This is the Bhakti progress that I'm just sharing His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's Shubodhini. So this is from verses 16 to 22, where Bhakti progresses are being given, that how your Bhakti progress. So it says Satam Kripa. It starts with Satam Kripa, that which is the causeless mercy of devotees. So this verse is Shushra Sattadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syan Mahat Seva Vipra Punya Tirtha Niveshanat. So first comes Satam Kripa. And then when Kripa comes and you serve some devotees. Now here Mahat Seva doesn't mean that you are serving some Uttama Bhakta. Maybe you are serving some Kanishta Adhikari, or maybe some beginner devotee. But yes, you are serving someone. You are doing some service to the devotees. And then what happens? Then happens Shraddha. Shraddha here means Shastriya Shraddha. You get some faith. And then you take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. You get Guru Pada Ashraya. And then you engage in bhajan. That happens your bhajan kriya. That is your 5th step. And then comes, after bhajan kriya, comes your bhakti. Bhakti means your nishtita bhakti. Your nishtita bhakti comes. And then, so this means you have first in bhajan kriya, you have anishtita bhakti and you have nishtita bhakti. But bhajan kriya itself means anishtita bhajan kriya, because it goes in waves. Sometimes you are very high, sometimes you are low. It's ghana tarala, right? But then comes your nishtita bhajan kriya, and then comes your anartha nivritti, means or the anarthas goes away. Then when anarthas goes away, especially the dushkrita anarthas, sukrita anarthas, and some amount of, you can say, aparadha anarthas, because anarthas comes from aparadha also. So to an extent, when it goes, then you are established in nishtha, that is steadiness. Then comes ruchi, you get some taste. Then comes asakti, you get firm attachment. And then you get bhav, that is fondness, that is rati you get. Then comes prema, right? I'm sorry about this. Then comes prema. After this prema, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, it doesn't end. Then you get darshanam, vision. You get anubhav. Especially he mentions the word anubhav. You get darshanam, vision. And then harer madhurya anubhava. You get experience to taste the sweetness of the Supreme Lord. So this is how the bhakti progresses. So after prema, it doesn't stop. Then you will realize and you will get some darshan. So here, this darshan, this vision that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, is not the vision of seeing the Lord face to face. Okay, this is something that is what is known as antardarshan. You see the Supreme Lord in your heart. Okay, that's why Brahma also sings. What he says, Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. That you see the Supreme Lord in the heart. So what you are seeing is not your eyes, but your heart. So whenever we see some object, suppose I'm seeing this laptop, I'm seeing a book, I'm seeing a phone. Yes, that eyes may have that abhiman of seeing. Or if I like lot of flowers, and if I go to a garden and I see garden full of beautiful flowers, I will feel some kind of happiness. But that bliss, that happiness will be in my mind, in my heart. Okay. Eyes may have that abhiman of seeing that flowers or seeing the garden which is full of blossoming beautiful flowers. Eyes may have that abhiman, but the real joy, the real happiness that is felt is within the heart. So this is what even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Having my darshan means having that antardarshan. Now here I'm not talking of something impersonalist. Here I'm talking what our shastras are speaking. Okay, in this regard, there is a very beautiful pastime mentioned in Brihad Bhagavatamrita also. When Gopakumara, he was on his journey. Many of you know the story of Gopakumara, how he was going from one planet to another. Right? So when he reached that Tapaloka, there he was very perplexed, very bewildered that I'm not able to see my Madan Gopal, because he was so much attracted to his Madan Gopal that he said, oh, I'm not able to see my Madan Gopal. And at that time, one of the Navayogendras who has the destination to reach that Tapaloka, his name is Pipalayana Muni. He came forward and he's saying, okay, you want to have direct darshan of Sri Hari? And at that time, Sanatan Goswami mentions the word antardarshan. That actually it's antardarshan of the Supreme Lord that should happen. Eyes can see, but it actually the Bhagavan, actually the Supreme Lord manifests in one's heart and in one's mind. And that is what is antardarshan. So he says, when joy arises in the mind, all the senses automatically become pleased. The function of the eyes and other senses is actually accomplished by the mind only. The mind is happy, all the senses are happy. Suppose if I lose some my car keys, and if I'm finding everywhere, the car keys are right in front of me, but I'm not able to find it, then what does it mean? It means that my eyes and my mind are not aligned together. So if my mind and my eyes, or if my mind and other senses are aligned, only then the senses can be able to perform their activity or their duty well. So the mind has to be aligned first. The heart has to be aligned first. Otherwise, the car keys may be right in front of me and I will not be able to see because the mind is not aligned. So the senses, other senses may have that ego, may have that abhiman of doing some activity, but if they are not connected with the mind, the activity of the senses is fruitless, will not be fruitful. And that's what Pipalayana Muni says, that actually everything is because of the mind. It's true that darshan happens through eyes, but the happiness that is felt is within the heart. So much so that even that when darshan goes away, the heart still resume that darshan. Like we see in the case of Narad Muni. He saw the Supreme Lord. He saw the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord in the heart. But just a moment that vision got disrupted and it was no more able to see, and he was no more able to see that darshan. So he was lamenting. He was lamenting that, oh, why I'm not able to see. But because he has seen it, that impression is there for lifelong, and he wants to see it again. That eagerness was grown in the heart of Narad Muni. Same we see with the case of gopis. The gopis were there, and middle of the rasa dance, Krishna disappeared, just so that he can intensify their emotions. That's why Krishna disappeared. Krishna mentions this in Srimad Bhagavatam, that I have disappeared because I want to intensify your emotions. So this is what is, that yes, the eyes see, but actually what is the mind has to be aligned. And therefore he says that without the mind's activity, the functions of senses are futile. For as long as the mind does not experience the activity of senses, as if they were never performed. Therefore, actual darshan of Bhagavan takes place in the heart. When the heart becomes pure, when the consciousness becomes pure, only then Krishna takes residence in one's heart. And we can have that darshan. That is what is known as antar darshan. It happens repeatedly, constantly, not once, but it is often. Right? So but sometimes we say, Gokumara could have said that, what about Prahlad Maharaj? What about Dhruva Maharaj? They saw Lord face to face. Yes, they do saw Lord face to face, but everybody is not that fortunate to see the Lord face to face. Especially in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to see the Lord face to face. That's why the Supreme Lord is known as Tri Yuga, because he was very much available and people could see, devotees can see him face to face in Satyuga, Dwapar and Treta. But it's very hard to see the Lord in Kali Yuga. But that doesn't mean that in Kali Yuga, devotees have not seen the Supreme Lord. We know the classic example of our dear Srila Prabhupada, who saw Krishna face to face in Jaladuta. So why that is? Why that is? Why Dhruva Maharaj saw? Why Prahlad Maharaj saw? Then Pipalayana Rishi said that it is out of compassion. It was out of the supreme anugraha shakti of the Supreme Lord that the living entity received darshan with his eyes. But the real darshan happens in the heart. If that it's only because of karuna shakti of the Supreme Lord. But otherwise, the real joy is felt at the heart of a devotee, nowhere else. So that's what he was mentioning, that if you want to have darshan, we should try to understand that if we are longing for darshan, then darshan first manifests in the heart of a devotee. And then, yes, it may be because of Krishna's Karuna Shakti that the Supreme Lord appears right in front. Otherwise, you see that the blind man, there is a blind man, he cannot see the objects of this material world. That means he cannot see the Supreme Lord. He can see. He can very well see the Supreme Lord because he has devotion. So he can see the Supreme Lord within his heart. On the other hand, we see that there are personalities who have eyes, like Duryodhan, like Shishupal, like Kamsa. They have eyes. They were seeing Krishna. But were they really seeing Krishna? No, because they have no devotion for Krishna. Saraswati Thakur would always say that don't do your eye exercise. Once he was giving Srimad Bhagavatam session and one devotee came and right in the middle of the Bhagavatam session, he stood up and he went straight on the altar to see the Supreme Lord because the curtains were open at that time. Then he came back and sat in Srimad Bhagavatam session. And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur said, so how was your eye exercise? Means I am here telling you about Krishna, giving you the antar darshan of the Supreme Lord, and you just left hearing Srimad Bhagavatam session and went straight on the altar to see the Supreme Lord, as if your eyes are fully competent to see the Supreme Lord. No, that was simple an eye exercise. Therefore it says, when you go to Vrindavan Dham, don't see Dham with your eyes. See Dham with your ears. Hear about Dham. Then only you will relish and then you will be able to see what is needed to be seen in Dham. Right? So this is what our scripture says, to have darshan of the Supreme Lord. So here we'll come back to our Chaitanya Bhagavat session. Where Mahaprabhu is saying, I hope you are able to see. You are able to see Chaitanya Bhagavat, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So if one does not accept devotional service, I feel aggrieved at heart, and as a result, he is obstructed from seeing me. So this is important, having antar darshan of the Supreme Lord. While discussing Madhurya Kadambini also, we discussed that yes, that feeling, that manifestation of the Supreme Lord in the heart of a devotee happens at the stage of prema. And after that, there are some stages beyond prema, like sneha, mana, pranaya, rag, anurag, mahabhav. So all those stages is where the devotee gets to participate in the Lila of the Supreme Lord, where he or she can see the Supreme Lord face to face. But before that, it all happens it manifests first in the heart of a sadhaka. And in continuing this, Mahaprabhu himself is saying, when he says that if one does not accept devotional service, I feel aggrieved at heart. And as a result, he is obstructed from seeing me. And then he himself gives the example. Raje ke o dekhila magila tara thani, tathapi vanchita haila yata premanani. Even though the washerman saw me, so he's giving the example of a washerman. Even though the washerman saw me when I asked him for something, he was deceived because he had no devotion. So we know that from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna, along with Lord Balaram, he went to Mathura. He entered Mathura, and there he met a washerman who was washing and ironing clothes for Kamsa Maharaj. So that washerman asked, that Krishna asked that washerman to give some clothes. And the washerman said, no, how can I give you? These are kingly attires. You are not befitted to get all these things. So he rejected. He had no devotional service, but he came to the Supreme Lord right face to face. He was able to see Krishna and Balaram. But because he had no devotion, he has nothing to offer. He doesn't understand that actually everything belongs to Krishna. And then what happened? Ama dekhi bhare se katata pakaila, katakoti deha se rajaka chadila. Rajaka means the washerman. So he says, पाइले का महाभाग्य मोरा दर्शन न पाइल सुख भक्ति शून्य कारण भक्ति शून्य जन मुई न करी प्रसाद मोरा दर्शन सुख तरहयवाद. The washerman, he says, he was able to underwent lot of austerities for millions of lifetimes in order to see me. Who was this washerman? So actually in Garga Samhita, it is mentioned that in Treta Yuga, when Lord Ram was there in Ayodhya, Lord Ram's spies, they overheard one person saying to his wife, he was also a washerman, that I will not maintain you because you are returning at sunset from somebody else's house. So how do I trust you that you have not mingled with another man? Then he says that Ramachandra is so lusty, he is so greedy, he wants to enjoy his wife. Therefore, he continued to maintain Sita Devi. But I am not like him. And then Lord Ramachandra exiled Mother Sita to the forest. We know this pastime. That same washerman who pointed out on Mother Sita actually later regretted that what he has done was totally wrong. And that same washerman underwent severe austerities. But at that time, Lord Ramachandra said that I am in this Maryada Purushottam. I am a Maryada Purushottam. And I am a king. And I am not giving you any punishment for whatever you have said. But that same washerman became washerman in Dwapar Yuga. It's not the same kalpa. It's a different kalpa. So he underwent, see Chaitanya Bhagavata is saying, he underwent austerities for millions of lifetimes. And then he came as washerman in Dwapar Yuga to see Krishna face to face. But even after coming back in the same body of washerman and seeing Krishna face to face, he has no devotional aspect. He was able to see Krishna because of the millions, or because of the austerities he performed for millions of lifetimes. He had a great fortune to see Krishna, to have his darshan. But he was not able to obtain any happiness out of it because he was devoid of devotional service. So he could see. He saw a Supreme Lord. Eyes saw the Supreme Lord. But he was not feeling happy inside because it was only the eyes that were seeing. The mind was not reflected on it. The mind was having that ego that I am a servant of Kamsa Maharaj and I am doing something, some service to Kamsa. Who is this cowherd boy? Why should I serve him? That was his abhiman. So the mind was not aligned. And therefore, he was not able to achieve any happiness because he was devoid of the devotional aspect. What is devotional aspect? That everything belongs to Krishna. Then Mahaprabhu saying, I do not show any compassion to those who are devoid of devotional service. And we know that when the same washerman came in Mathura, became washerman in Mathura, Krishna immediately killed him. He killed him because that washerman was not having the devotional attitude. But because he has performed millions of lifetimes of austerities, Krishna himself came and liberated him. If somebody is killed by Krishna, it's Krishna's blessing in disguise only, because he'll get mukti. He'll not come back again in this samsara chakra. But he didn't get the ultimate perfection of one's life. That is to serve Krishna, to be with Krishna. I do not show any compassion to those who are devoid of devotional service. Therefore, they are bereft of happiness derived from my darshan. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur writes, one cannot have darshan of the Lord if he is less fortunate. It took washerman millions of births to achieve Lord darshan, but it was just an eye exercise. Yet because he was not inclined to the service of the Lord, he was not able to obtain the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Because Lord says, I am never ever pleased if somebody is devoid of devotional service. Even if karmis on the strength of thousands of pious activities achieve my darshan, they cannot achieve my mercy. Therefore, if they achieve my darshan, like Duryodhan, like Shakuni, like Shishupal, they are cheated from the happiness derived from my darshan, because they don't get any happiness. They are into their own abhiman. Right? Bhaktasthane aparadha kaile guche bhakti, bhaktira abhave guche darshana shakti. If one commits an offense to devotional service, his devotion is vanquished, and one who is bereft of devotion derives no benefit from my darshan. So this also we have discussed in detail in Madhurya Kadambini session, that how if one commits an offense, aparad, because this aparad hota anarthas, adanarthas, that goes even to the level of bhava, even onto the level of rati. One may get nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, but this offense to the devotional service, this nama aparad, it goes on and on. And if one is not freed from such nama aparad, definitely the devotion will not flourish in the heart of a devotee. And that devotee will derive no benefit by seeing Krishna, by having darshan of Lord Shri Krishna. So this is also very, very important, that how one should always fix one's mind onto Lord Shri Krishna's lotus feet. And one should do one's activity only and only to please the Supreme Lord. And our scriptures explain this. This is what is known as Sharanagati. The 6 limbs of Sharanagati is Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulya Varjanam, Rakshishyati Vishvaso Gopritya Varanam Tatha, Atma Nikshepa Karparne Shadvidha Sharanagati. There are 6 limbs. Anukulasya Sankalpa, that one should accept everything that is favorable to our bhakti. And then we have Pratikulasya Varjanam. We should reject everything which is not favorable for our bhakti. Then we should have that Vishwas, Rakshashati Vishwasa, that my Krishna will absolutely protect me. He is my maintainer. Goprityate Varanam. He is my maintainer. He is my master. He is my Lord. So definitely he will protect me. Atma Nikshepa, Atma Nivedana, self-dedication. I dedicate my whole self to that Supreme Lord. And with what mood? Karpanya, with the mood of humility. The beautiful song also. Dainya Atma Nivedana Goprite Varana Avashe Rakshiba Krishna Vishwasa Palana Bhakti Anukula Matra Kareya Svikara. We should accept everything. Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjina Ghakar. We should reject which is not favorable for our bhakti. Shadanga Sharanagati Hoye Bejahara Tahara Prarthana Sune Shinanda Kumara. Wherever there are these 6 limbs of Sharanagati present, there Nanda Kumar, our Brajendra Nandana Krishna, hears the prayers of that devotee. So what are the things that are favorable to bhakti? Now my question to all of you. What are the things that is favorable to bhakti which have to be accepted for our Krishna consciousness? Who wants to say this?
Anything that is connected to Krishna
Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam.
Anukulyasya sankalpa is what is that you have to accept that is favorable. What is favorable? Come on. Nectar of
Devotee
instruction.
association,
Yes, nectar of
sadhu sangha.
instruction. I'm giving you the
Sadhu
biggest.
sangha, surrender to the superior
What
spiritual
are the
master.
6 favorable things
Constant,
that Srila Rupa Goswami
constant,
emphasized?
Smaranam,
constantly
Kirtanam,
thinking,
Padasevanam.
constantly thinking, and
Okay.
Smaranam, Kirtanam, Padasevanam,
They are the
Vigrahar.
different limbs. Yes, those limbs are important. But how to perform those limbs? What are the 6 favorable?
constantly,
Nishchaya,
constantly thinking, Mataji.
Yes, who said that? Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat tat karma pravartanat sanga tyaga sato vritti shadbir bhakti prasiddhyati. These are the 6 favorable principles that have to be adopted whenever we perform devotional service. That is what is anukulasya. That to perform, to have, to accept, that is conducive for our bhakti. जो भी हमारे भक्ति के अनुकूल है, means favorable है, we have to accept. But how? What are the 6 principles? Those are utsaha, having enthusiasm, nishchiyat, having that confidence, and dhairyat, having that patience. Then tat karma pravartanat, acting according to regulative principles, not having your whimsical thought, following the 4 regulative principles properly. Sangha tyagat, that sangha which is not conducive for our Krishna consciousness, we should give away, we should abandon all that association of non-devotees. And then sato vritti. Sato means that pure devotees, we should follow in their footsteps. So we should be enthusiastic. We should be with full determination. We should have patience. We should act accordingly to the regulative principles, not whimsically. We should abandon the association of non-devotees and we should follow in the footsteps of our previous acharyas. How they have followed, we should follow in their footsteps, and that way we can perform devotional service. Then Rupa Goswami says that there are 6 things that should be avoided. They're do's and don'ts. If we just follow the do's, if we go to a doctor and the doctor say that you take this particular medicine, but you have to follow some don'ts. Suppose if I have cold and I go to a doctor, doctor will give me some cold medicine, but at the same time will warn me not to drink water, cold water, not to drink something that has ice, don't expose yourself to dust place that is so much of dusty. That way that will aggravate your cold. So don'ts also have to be followed. So Rupa Goswami says, yes, there are favorable principles, but there are 6 unfavorable principles also. And what is that? Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhakti vinashyati. That which destroy your bhakti, vinashyati, is 6 more things. And what are those? Atyahara. Atyahara means eating more than necessary or accumulating more than necessary. Then it is prayasascha, means you are doing some prayas, you are doing some practice, but you are over-endeavoring it. You are over-endeavoring on the things which is difficult to maintain or which is very difficult to obtain. Don't do that. After all, everything is material. But that doesn't mean that you don't do any prayas. You should do some practice. Some endeavor is needed, but only that much by which you can sustain yourself nicely. At the same time, you can keep your Krishna consciousness going. Prajalpa, don't talk unnecessary on mundane subject matter. Politics, cinema, yahan kya ho gaya, wahan kya ho gaya. What's the need? They will come, they will go. Don't waste your time in that. Niyamagraha, don't make unnecessary rules and regulations which you cannot perform, which you cannot obtain. Don't put your own whimsical thoughts in making some rules and regulations. But yes, you should follow some rules and regulations which is prescribed in our scriptures. Niyamagra, Janasangas, avoid the association of materialistic people. Those who are not Krishna consciousness, they will be the instrument in dooming our spiritual life. So let's not associate with them. Laulyam. Now this laulyam is important. Don't have greed. Don't be so greedy. Greedy for what? For getting some mundane achievements. But yes, one should be greedy for service. This same laulyam, when it is used in material context, it will doom our spiritual life. But the same laulyam, if it is used in spiritual life, then it will greatly enhance our spiritual life. Because if we are greedy for Krishna's service, if we are greedy for chanting Krishna's name, if we are greedy for reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, that same laulyam will help us improve in our spiritual life. So this is what here in our verse that he is saying, that one should not commit any offense to devotional service. Yes, those aparadhas are on one side, but at the same time, we should also know what is favorable for our bhakti and what is not favorable for our bhakti. We should accept that is favorable in dainyata, in the mood of humility, and in the mood of Gopritya Varnam, that my Krishna will protect. He is my maintainer, he is my master. And I'm 100% surrendered to him, so he will take care. But at the same time, the don'ts also have to be followed. We should reject that is not favorable for our bhakti. याते के कहिला तुमी सब मोरा कथा तुम्हारे मुखे ते के ना शिबे अन्यथा. Whatever you have said has been spoken by me. It's Mukunda who was giving the example of Narad Muni. It was Mukunda who was giving the example of Vyasadev. It was Mukunda who was giving the example of Shankarshan. That because of, Shankar, that because of the devotional service, they will achieve what they want. But I am so unfortunate that I am bereft of devotional service. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, you were able to give those examples because it was me who was speaking from your mouth. Otherwise, those statements would have not come from your mouth. O Mukunda, tomhare mukhete kena ashibhyanyatha. You have simply repeated my words. This is what I want you to speak, to realize the importance of devotional service. Because you are an unalloyed devotee and no statement other than the truth can come from your mouth. Because I was sitting on your jivha, on your tongue, and I was speaking from your behalf. What I want you to speak, you were speaking. So this is what a devotee is. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Haridas Thakur to speak about Harinam, Haridas Thakur says, oh my Lord, this is impossible. You are an embodiment of Harinam. How can I speak the glories of Harinam in front of you? But with great humility, Srila Haridas Thakur said, but if you promise that you reside on my tongue, then I can still attempt to speak on the glories of Harinam. And that is what we have Harinam Chintamani. Because Mahaprabhu himself recited on the tongue of Srila Haridas Thakur to describe the glories of Harinam. Bhakti vailu mumui balila tomare agya prema bhakti dila tora kantha sware. I tell you that I will distribute this devotional service, and I have already imparted love and devotion into your voice, because he was a great singer and Mahaprabhu was very pleased by his singing. Yata dekhe ache mora Vaishnava mandala shunile tomhara gana dravaya sakala. The hearts of all Vaishnavas melt while hearing your singing. As all the devotees of Vishnu who follow me hear your devotion-filled songs, the hardness in their hearts softens, because now you are the recipient of my mercy. So whatever songs you will sing, that songs will bring transformation in the heart. And that is what is needed. when the hearts get transformed. When we hear some Krishna Katha, we hear Krishna Kirtan from a mouth of a pure Vaishnava, the hearts get transformed. Yes, some bliss is seen when we hear some Kirtan, when we hear some Krishna Katha. But if the heart is not transformed, or the heart doesn't soften, then there is no use. It will have some impact, it will have some benefit, but the ultimate benefit is that the heart should melt, or the heart should soften, or the heart should get transformed. And that Mahaprabhu is giving benediction to Mukunda, that, O Mukunda, from hereafter, your devotion-filled songs, when you will sing from your lotus mouth, the hardness of the hearts of the devotees will soften, and their hearts will get transformed. Amaraye mena tumi valabha ekanta, e mata hau tore sakala mahanta. As you are extremely dear to me, may you become similarly dear to all the Vaishnavas. As you have become dear to me on the strength of your unalloyed devotional service, may you always become similarly dear to my devotees. Last verse for today. He's giving benediction to Mukunda. ये खाने हया मोरा अवतार तथा ये गायना तुम्ही हाइवा amara. Whenever I incarnate, you will accompany me as my singer. You are my eternal companion, and you always sing for me. Wherever I incarnate, you will appear as my associate to sing the glories of Shri Hari. So this way, Mahaprabhu benedicted Mukunda, and when all the devotees heard this benediction, they were all chanting Jai, Jai, Hari, Hari, Jai, Jai, Dhwani, Thakani Haila. Everywhere there was Jai, Jai, because they all were very happy that how Mukunda got this beautiful benediction, this extremely rare and wonderful benediction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thank you all so much. We'll stop here. Please forgive me if I said something wrong. That you are Saragrahi Vaishnavas. Please take the essence of the entire session. And please bless me so that I can able to imbibe whatever I have spoken in my life too. So with that note, we'll end. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavata ki jai. All the assembled Vaishnavas ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, Parima Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for again this wonderful nectarian class. All glories to you and all glories to our Guru Varga. Mataji, I had this question, if that washerman during the time of Ramayana, if he repented, how is it at that, and he performed penances, how, I mean, it's very, very strange that he did not become a devotee, or, he never had any devotional feelings. Because repentance brings about a change in a person, typically.
Repentance brings about the change of one's attitude. That my attitude in pointing out Mother Sita or pointing out Lord Ramachandra was wrong.
Okay.
But was he really having the devotional filled attitude also? That is the point of question. So Garga Samhita doesn't say that. Garga Samhita only say that he was repentant of what he has done to Sita Devi and Lord Ramachandra, means pointing out some bad words on them, calling out Ramachandra to be lusty, but he still didn't have that devotional attitude.
So even the penance that he performed did
that
not bring him.
austerity, yeah, of course.
Austerity also does not bring devotion, that means, I mean.
Of course not.
Okay.
Not always.
Yeah.
Hiranyakashipu did lot of
Yeah,
austerity.
I was
Nobody
going to
can
say
do
that,
it.
yeah. They never became devotees.
But was the heart changed? No.
No. Yeah, that's true, Mataji. Thank you so much. This is such a wonderful class. It's I'm greatly indebted to you for your wonderful service, Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to you, Mataji. What a beautiful class. It was a very nice interactive session. You asked us many questions. We had to think. Uh, Sometimes the answer we know, but then when suddenly asked, it's not been. It shows our practice, how much we are practicing and how much we are hearing.
Revision of our Bhakti Shastra is needed.
Yeah, yes, Mataji, so true. Yeah, you asked question from NOD and we couldn't answer it. I mean, I could not answer, other devotees answered it. It's very nice, Mataji. I really like the way you are explaining how seeing the Lord and seeing the Lord with our own eyes and seeing the Lord with within our heart. And I also like the example that you are giving, like when the mind, what was that? Mind and heart is not in the align.
When our senses and mind is not
Senses and the
aligned.
mind. Yeah. Then we cannot find the things properly or we cannot give our attention. Same thing, right? So many times we keep it the thing just in front of my eyes only, Mataji. I just go around the house everywhere. I
It
said,
happens
I
with
will
all of
not get
us.
it.
Yeah.
I
It
will not
happens
get
with
it.
all.
Finally, after some long search, then I will see, oh, it's here only. I wasted my 2 hours of time.
It happens with everybody because when we are finding at that time, we are in the mode of finding. Our mind and senses are not aligned.
Not aligned, yeah.
Therefore, both have to be aligned together.
Yes, Mataji, that example really, we can connect to easily. Very beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much. And I also like the fisherman's how not fisherman, washerman, how he was not able to attain even after doing so much. So it says like whatever austerity we are doing, it should be pleasing for Krishna, not for our own sense gratification or achieve something out of it. Like how Dhruva Maharaj says, right? Oh, I have did all of this for the broken piece of glass. Now I understood what a mistake I have done. So it's like that we should not be doing anything, even though we are attached, we are doing it for Krishna, but should not expect anything. No ulterior motive should be there. It should only be for pleasing for Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very beautiful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. And that is what is niyamagra, that we make our own niyam and then we are not able to follow.
Haribol.
Yes, Karpavagalli Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji, for the nectarian class. And my clarification is that in Treta Yuga, the washerman, same washerman has been born in that Dwarapa Yuga. And again he was born Dwapara Yuga. And again he is in the period of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that man, Mataji, or otherwise he is telling like.
It's nowhere mentioned in Chaitanya Lila that he came or not. It's not mentioned because he was not a devotee of the Lord, right? He was a
So
washerman.
he could not recognize, he could not recognize
he
the
was
Lord.
nowhere mentioned. He's nowhere mentioned. He was as a washerman in Satyuga, and then he came as washerman in Mathura in Dwapar Yuga, and that time Krishna killed him.
Because he is not, he cannot have the devotional, the thing he was still doing.
So he was not able to associate in Chaitanya Lila.
He
So
cannot realize.
He got Sayujya Mukti because he was killed by Krishna personally.
He was. And also he cannot realize the Krishna's love, Mataji. He is not realizing
That's a
the
very
Krishna's
sorry
love.
condition. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yes,
God bless you for all your services, Mataji. Today only this the washerman's thing I came to know. I am very thrilled. And thank you, Mataji, for all the things and the limbs of the thing I told. Very thank you, Mataji. Thank you for God bless you abundantly, Mataji. God bless you abundantly for all your services, Mataji, to enlightening all the neophyte devotees. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you for your blessings, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you. But real thanks goes to our acharyas who are spoon feeding us. Literally, they spoon fed us with all their books, with all the literatures. We just have to type it, find it, search it, and it's ready for us. So glories to them. Yes,
Prabhupada Mataji.
Prabhupada Unless Prabhupada and this thing, we cannot read Matab. All this English this thing, because Sanskrit and all, I cannot even imagine Mataji. In this age, how we may be able to read and digest and this thing. By reading Prabhupada's purport and all, no, he's making me understand so much. Thank God, thank God. Thank God for your association, Mataji. Thank
यदि
God for the Bhakti
प्रभुपाद ना
Sanga
होई तो
association.
तभी की होई तो जीवन में भहिता किसे. Right? It's because of Prabhupada only
Thank you.
to sustain.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Prahlad.
Dandat Pranam Mataji.
And
Haribol, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I was at Dallas attending Sadhu Sangh and I thought you
Yeah,
were
Prabhu,
coming
I
there.
missed. I saw your picture with Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, but this year I missed. I missed all the association.
It was so good. I met His Holiness Indradyumna Swami there, and I quoted to him that, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastra ka hai. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hai. So, in glorification of bhakti, which you did so well today, was, that Bhagavatam says, Shreyam Srutim Bhakti Mudasyate Vibhuklishanti Keval Bodhalabde. So bhakti is such a great gift we have got from Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, that it's such a great path, which even if we run with closed eyes, Bhagavatam says in 11th canto, that we fall, even you run without your eyes open like Shruti and Smruti, still you will reach the destination without failing. So such a benefit, where do we get? Bhagavan Krishna says, Name Bhakta Pranasyati. So although we keep on falling and all these defects on our side, we still have the great hope of reaching the other side like that. So thank you very much, Mataji. Again, Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And even after that, person like me have doubt on Shastras and don't have that Shastriya Shraddha, will it really happen? So yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Everything is given to us on a platter, but we don't have that hunger to digest that food. So we have to develop that hunger after getting, especially this human form of life, simply wasting here and there, not realizing this importance. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Preeti Vilasni Mataji is writing, Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the brilliant class and wonderful revision through the question and answers. Very indebted to you. Mataji might not be able to unmute today.
And that's
Thank
okay.
you,
She must be
Preeti Mataji. Yeah, Sushmita
Mataji,
Mataji.
somebody is telling you to join. Prabir Bagal, you can please note down the WhatsApp number.
Oh, okay. I can share the link here. You can join with the link.
You can share the link.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Yeah, is there any more questions? And I will share this link. Today morning only I shared to someone. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody having any questions?
In the darshan part, I would like just 1 minute. I was noting down something. Yeah. See this verse. This is a very beautiful song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Janama safalatar Krishna darshan jar bhagya hoya che ek bar. That person's bhagya, fortune rises up if he takes darshan of Krishna ek bar. But what darshan? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bikashaya hir nayana kari Krishna darshana. It's not face-to-face darshan, but in hrid, in your heart, in the eyes of the heart. Chhade jive chittara bekar. His birth is successful, whose good fortune dawns, as to have the vision of the Lord just once, ekabar. And when the jiva gives up all delusions of mind, then only he will see the vision of Krishna, blooming within the eyes of his heart. And also there is one beautiful Mama Mana Mandirire Nishidin Krishna Murari, Shri Krishna Murari. So these two verses. And of course Damodarashtakam, yes. Damodarashtakam also says, Sada me manasya virashtam ke manya. Manasya virashtam alam lakshalape. Every time Satyavat Muni is praying, that may have that vision constantly in my mind. He would have also said that I want to see Krishna face to face, but he says, I want that antardarshan of Krishna. Just want to share these three things.
Hari Mataji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so yes, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
I hope you got
Hare
the
Krishna,
link.
whoever asked me for joining the WhatsApp group, I shared the link. Please click on that. You'll be in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. I will end the call here by offering my obeisances to Mataji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhu bheva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhakti Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai.
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 Kirtida
Jai.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.